We are live from Big 12 Media Day here in Frisco, Texas. We got Julian Lewis, we got Naeten Mitchell, we got Ben Finneseth, and we got new AD Fernando Lovo, and much more. Let's go. Nation
Squad.
Yes, sir. Welcome to Big 12 Media Day. Another season of the Coach Prime era underway. The official start to football season, in my opinion, is Media Day, right?
Yes.
That's when it feels real, when all the off-season topics are presented right in front of us. It's all right here. Everyone is here. Writers from all over the country, podcasters, players, coaches.
I'm just looking out right now as we sit here in the Star Dallas Cowboys headquarters in Frisco, Texas. I'm looking out in the field. I'm seeing about 6 to 8 Big 12 mascots just in a circle. I don't know what they're doing, but it's football season. We got players around. We got coaches around. It's here, man. I know it's still only July 7th, 7/7 to be exact.
Yep.
But football season is here, man, and it certainly feels like it today, man. We got a banger of a show for the people today, man. You mentioned all the headliners at the top there. It was fun to chop it up with each of them, and I'm excited for everybody out there to hear it, man. What's up, man? Chat, how we feeling? What's the word, oh? What's the word? Talk to me. What's going on?
Shout out to everyone in the chat. So, okay, here's the deal. We have half the players today. We are, because of how the day works out, we're still going to need a little time till we can get everything accomplished that we came out here to do, right? So we will have Julian Lewis. We'll have Naeten Mitchell, Ben Finneseth, Fernando Lovo, and much, much more to come in the ensuing days. We will talk Dewey Young's commitment as well.
Big dog.
I see you, Eric. We're rolling, man. And maybe we do quick big takeaway real quick.
Sure. You want to start? You want me to start?
I'll start.
Bet.
This team is completely under the radar.
Yeah, man.
No one is talking about this team. The buzz is, if it weren't for just Coach Prime and his name, Deion Sanders, I think this would be one of the least, if not the least, talked about teams here at Big 12 Media Day. No respect in the Big 12 poll. We'll talk about that as well during this show. No players named to the Big 12 preseason team. I think this team ultimately, though, wouldn't have it any other way. They love flying under the radar.
In fact, that's what I said to you earlier, bro. I think this could end up proving to be a blessing in disguise maybe for this team, that they're flying under the radar a bit, that they might catch some teams a bit by surprise, at least out the gate to start the season. And because of that, that is kind of giving me some 2024 vibes. I know you mentioned that a few times this offseason. But this team, man, they don't give a damn. And a lot of them, we've talked about it with some players, with Coach Prime as well today, like a lot of them are used to being slept on.
Yep.
A lot of these guys, particularly that they brought in via the transfer portal this offseason, like they are, or they were a bit under-recruited, underlooked. And now that they're here, on the big stage, so to speak, they still carry that chip on their shoulder. And I think that's really what this team needs. I think it's kind of what this team lacked last year. Just like that, the edginess that, you have to play with, particularly late into the year, into October as you get into November. And I think a lot of these guys are hardened and kind of built, that way, where they have a chip on their shoulder and that they don't give a damn about no damn, preseason all Big 12 team. They don't give a damn about that. This team wants to win, and I think they are singularly focused on that. And Coach Prime's health, man, massive. We saw him today on the podium. We got to spend some more intimate, so to speak, time with him a little bit afterward as well, with some of the local media, about a group of about 6 of us with Coach Prime. And you can just feel how much better he feels health-wise. He said last year, right? He said he pulled up to this event a year ago with shorts on underneath his suit because he was down about 15 pounds because of his health situation. And he didn't want nobody to see him like that. A year later, as we sit here today, he is as close to, if not 100%, let him tell it. And you can see it. The Prime retreat, Ben Finneseth told us, and you'll hear it in a bit. Coach Prime, let Ben tell it again, has been around the most this offseason that he's ever been since he's been at Colorado. And I think that kind of speaks to how important he knows this 2026 season is. And I think they're going to shock some people, really surprise some people.
All right. Without further ado, let's get to the content we have gathered today, starting with QB1. It was this time last year he was on the show for really the first time in a much different role. Now a lot of pressure on his shoulders, a lot of expectations. Here is QB1, Julian Lewis. Joining us now, QB1, Julian Lewis. First time here last year, Julian. You were, 17 years old, should have been finishing up high school. How does it feel now to be back at Big 12 Media Day, kind of representing your football team as QB1?
Yeah, no, it's a blessing. It's an honor, of course, for the coaches and everybody to trust me to come out here and speak on behalf of the team, of course. But, I'm honored. Year 2, a little more comfortable out here, used to it, know what's about to go down. So excited for the day.
Love that.
Juju, good to see you, my boy. Tell the people, kind of what an offseason looks like for a Division I Power 4 quarterback, knowing that everybody has things to work on, but what was your focus this summer in terms of your work?
This offseason for me, we got a whole new offensive coordinator, a whole new playbook, a lot more plays than last year, so kind of just understanding the footwork and the timing and things like that with the receiver, just trying to connect up to the plays. It's just it's gonna be like that. That's college football. It's just adapting and changing.
Have you seen the team kind of come together? What have you guys been up to this summer in terms of team building, making sure that camaraderie is there? What's that been like for you, just as a maybe a new leader, I guess, for a college football team?
Yeah, no, it's definitely very, very more together than last year, I would say. All the boys, you can tell, have one goal in mind, that's to win. Nobody wants to be a loser, and that's what we were last year. So I think just having that extra chip on our shoulder from being down last year, the transfers, understanding what it was last year, and just understanding that we're not going for it again.
What's it been like coming out of the spring as we kind of go into the summer, just as you mentioned earlier in your first answer, working with Coach Marion, working in his go-go offense, kind of learning all the nuances that go along with it? What's kind of been that process like these last couple months since spring ended?
It's been long. Coach Marion does a great job teaching the go-go. It's his own thing, it's his own offense. So, you just take it and fly with it, and just try to soak up as much as you can. Watching the old footwork and stuff like that. He's been running his offense for a minute, so just trying to take it and go along with it.
I think it was you at the end of the spring talking about your relationship with Danny and how you guys really aren't even there yet. How do you feel like that's gone along over the summer? But not just Danny, all your guys. Obviously Q for 6, all the returners, JoJo that you have in the fold as well.
Yeah, no, I've gotten to build a connection with all the receivers. Me and Danny live in the same apartment building. Me and Cam, we both from Georgia, so we both vacation there. Went and trained. Cornell came down with me and trained. It's a lot of guys, a lot of targets, and I think Coach Marion's gonna do a great job feeding the ball around to get our stars the ball.
Most definitely. It's 6 of y'all out here today, 6 Buffs, including yourself.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit something about each of them. We'll go one by one. I'm gonna start with Ben.
Ben's a great guy, great leader. Ben's one of our old Buffs, so he's been here for a long time. So he understands the Buff culture. It's good for the transfers to understand Ben and to hear Ben, just so they know what the standard is of Buffs.
What about Cree?
Cree is one of the Cree's one of the best corners I've seen naturally. He came from Notre Dame, so a lot of man-to-man stuff. But him switching to his defense, you can tell he's about to shine this year for sure.
Yes, sir. How about Big Nate?
Nate, let me think. Nate's a good athlete, great character, great team guy. I've never heard anybody say anything bad about Nate. He always comes to work, always comes prepared. He's just ready for the day.
Danny,
I think everybody knows what Danny got going on. In terms of just, he doesn't look crazy size-wise or anything like that. But, he gets that ball in his hand. He's a different type of guy. what do you call him? Electric.
That'll work.
Electric's a good word. I think he's very hard to deal with.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Love that.
Zach.
Oh, yeah.
My boy Zach. Good looking.
Come on, man.
But that's QB1, though. He said he ain't going to forget about my tight end.
Yeah, my dog Zach, though,
out Zach.
we ain't feed Zach as much as we need to last year, but you can tell he's been hurt a little bit right now. But, in terms of tight end body, he runs like a 4.5, something like that.
Jeez.
So in terms of just yards after catch for a tight end, just making it easy for me, checkdowns and stuff like that, it's going to be perfect.
Definitely.
I know you've been locked in, on training and just getting better this offseason, but I don't know if you noticed, the Buffs ain't getting much respect in terms of, record expectations, just talking about you and, being a second-year starter, even though you got some playing time last year. Just what is kind of the mentality from you guys and from you as QB1, just when you see that, the disrespect about this team, no one believing that y'all can go out there and do anything?
Honestly, they didn't really believe in us last year. They're not gonna believe in us. We understand that kind of comes with the Buff program and stuff like that. But nobody's ever had a problem being an underdog. I think being an underdog gives us an extra chip, and it gives us something to look forward to when we show people what we're really about.
Most definitely.
Yeah, there you go, man. Julian Lewis, QB1, back again at Big 12 Media Days. Appreciate you stopping by, brother.
Appreciate y'all.
Good to see you, bro.
Shout out to QB1. Always appreciative to spend some time with Julian Lewis. And as people are mentioning in the chat, man, growing up in multiple ways, kind of right before our eyes, it really is. You're just watching like young people and like literally them growing up when you comes to college athletics, man. And it's important to realize that sometimes these are folks who are just learning their way through life at the end of the day, right? Definitely. And again, a lot of expectations, a lot rests on Julian Lewis' shoulders this year.
And I think he knows that, man. One of the things that I always tell people when they ask me, like, what do you kind of look for in people, like, just humans, right? I think self-awareness is like one of the main things, most important things a human can have. And I think Julian has that at an elite level. And he knows what's at stake this year. He knows what's on his shoulders personally as a quarterback, the face of this program, this team this year. And I think he's ready for that. I would say he seemed more comfortable today. He killed it last year. Yeah. Especially being, a 17-year-old who should have still been a senior in high school. I'm talking about that media day. Yep. But this year, I feel like he seems, like I said, more comfortable maybe in his skin, but I also kind of got the vibe that, like, he hears the noise. Yeah. And he's just ready to go to work. He's ready to get on the field week 1 in his hometown of Atlanta, Georgia, and put on a show and do what he's always done, which is ball. And I like that. I think particularly as a leader of this team, maybe not being so much of a vocal leader as he is, still young and maybe finding his voice, but you can be a leader in the way that you come across, right? In the way that you talk to your teammates, and in the way that you kind of handle yourself in settings like this. And I think that business-like kind of mentality that we saw from Juju there in that interview, I think it's awesome. And I think it's exactly what this team needs, especially when, as we're talking about, they're kind of being overlooked and slept on right now. Again, maybe rightfully so after a 3-9 season. Sure. But all those guys aren't here no more. Yep. Julian is one of those holdovers. But again, I think that mentality is exactly, particularly from the quarterback position and the leader of his team, I think it's exactly what this team needs.
It's been a minute since we've talked about this, but let's not forget who Julian Lewis is. Like, this is a player who, after how last year went, he could have entered the portal and he could be damn near anywhere he wants to be.
And nobody would have blamed him, to be honest with you.
For sure. Sure. But he decided to stick it out. Yeah. He gets rewarded with the hire of Coach Marion. Now you look at the pieces they brought in, the offense as a whole, the hope and willingness to run the ball a little bit better than previous years. Not even a little bit better. I think it's the expectation to run it much better, right? For sure. And Coach Prime, go check out on the YouTube channel after the show the press conferences from Coach Prime today. We had a nice little intimate, local media press conference with Coach Prime where we all got to ask him some questions. I asked him about Julian Lewis and how he's grown. He said he's grown tremendously. I don't think he has a choice with Coach Marion. And then he also talks about we have some men on the team who have an expectation, not just – then he goes in depth, not just the expectation of winning, in terms of Danny Scudero, Cam Perry, DeAndre Moore, where they've came from, what they've done in the past in college football. There's an expectation of production almost, right?
Definitely.
And when you look at what Coach Marion is bringing to the table, the running game being better, the offensive line being a little bit more stout, I think the expectation is for him to be fairly productive this year, even though it will be his first full year starting. So a lot of expectations on his shoulder, but, again, this is a player who's been there and done that as much as you can to this point, and I think he's ready for it.
I mean, every year of his high school career, the pressure was on his shoulders to perform. And he did it at every stop, every year. I have no doubts that this year will be similar.
Much more to come from Big 12 Media Days in just a couple minutes. Let's shout out our friends over at Red Hawk Roofing, the best in the business when you're in the Denver area. When it comes to your roof, home or business, they have you covered. It is hail season out there in Colorado. We probably still got a couple weeks of it left as well. So if you are in the market for a new roof over your home or business, hit up our friends over at Red Hawk Roofing. We are massive fans of Red Hawk Roofing. I've been rolling with them for a minute because they've been rolling with us for a minute here at DNVR. They are massive DNVR supporters. They come hang out at the tailgates. They are involved in the community. So we want to support them, right?
Yeah.
Supporting your local teams also means supporting local businesses like our friends over at Red Hawk Roofing. Hit them up. You can get a free no-obligation roof and property inspection, plus a free in-depth photo report for all inspections as well. If you're looking for a new roof over your home or business, be sure to check out Red Hawk Roofing at redhawkroofing.com or call 720-771-8921 and tell them DNVR sent you.
And shout out to the squad, our good friends over at Xfinity who are powering our show here today.
The remote
at
show.
Big 12 Media's the Xfinity Remote Show. You see it right there behind us. I hope you do at least. Shout out to Xfinity, man. And shout out to their 5-year price guarantee. Jakey and I last night had another realization, another epiphany about how rapidly things can change in just 5 years. But you know what won't change with our friends over at Xfinity? Their price for Wi-Fi. That's their 5-year price guarantee. This is reliable and intelligent Wi-Fi that you can keep at the same price for 5 whole years, man. This is Wi-Fi that makes everything in your home or your business work together. It's going to find problems. It's going to fix problems before you might even notice them, man. So lock in your price and unlock the possibilities with our friends over at Xfinity. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Xfinity, imagine that. Select plans only. Restrictions apply.
Back live in Frisco from Big 12 Media Days, DNVR Buffs, bringing you all the content. We've got so much stuff to get to, so let's just keep it rolling, yeah?
Yeah, maybe, I mean, this is no slight to anybody else we talked to today, but y'all should know this by now. When Ben Finneseth get on the mic, it's magic.
He's just the best, man.
He
really is. All right, without further ado, here's our guy, your guy, Ben Finneseth.
YC.
Ben Finneseth.
How we doing, guys?
Look at this, man.
YC.
We are here at the Star, and you're representing the CU Buffs at Big 12 Media Day. I mean, I remember it's already been a year and a half since we interviewed him at the bar now and stuff, and just reflecting on things back then. Just how's it feel now being in this position?
Oh, dude, it feels so good. You know, I'm just extremely grateful for this opportunity. You know, thankful for Coach Prime, thankful for my family, thankful for the Lord. You know, I'm just extremely grateful for this opportunity to be with these guys and to be able to represent the team over here. So.
Love it, man.
Ben, I remember during parts of like last season when you would talk to the media, when you would talk to us, you would like talk about leadership and like I wasn't good enough in that department this year. And you were talking about next year already, 2026. And now that it's here, I know you guys are putting in a lot of work, you personally as well, in terms of like being a tight-knit team, like doing things outside of football with the team. Like I know you did like a fishing trip, the Prime retreat, obviously last week as well. Just what goes into all of that this offseason and knowing that that's something you had to work on and putting it into action? Yeah,
no, we have an entire bucket list of things as a team that we want to get done this summer, and just taking guys to do Colorado things, that you can't do anywhere else. And I think that's why the Lord gave me this knee injury that I had in February, because like He was like, you need to bring these people together, and that's what one of your gifts is. Definitely. So like that's what you need to focus on. So I was like, I truly believe that was a sign that that's what I need to do. So my goal every single day has been to well, obviously to better myself. I gotta take care of myself. Yeah. But on the weekends, like just getting all of us together, getting us around each other, taking these guys to go, seeing some of these guys catch a fish for the first time, or shoot a gun for the first time, ride a 4-wheeler. Like it's crazy, bro. Like the light in their eyes, getting to do stuff like that. Like they've never experienced something like that. So you can't take an experience like that away from someone. So it's been super cool, all the things we've been able to do this summer and the way we've all been able to hang out. So it's been fun.
Bro, that's a big part of what college is about, bro. Mm-hmm. Experiencing new things, bro, and especially when you're on a football team, when you're in a locker room, bro, those are the type of things that make you look like a tight-knit team on Saturdays, on game day and all. So I love that. You're taking that initiative.
Yeah.
What would you say is the biggest difference from last year to this year for the football team?
The biggest difference is the leaders on the team, like the mindset of everybody. Like, every single person that's on our team right now so when we recruited out the transfer portal, we recruited guys that came from smaller schools that balled out and have tape. Like you've seen, I don't know if you guys saw, but like our team has played more snaps than any other team in the country. Yep. All the guys that we brought in. Mm-hmm. And to me, that's what matters way more than anything else. Like all these guys try and bring in, they might have been these 4- and 5-star recruits from these blue blood programs, these SEC schools, and they didn't play there, and they come here, and it's like, well, you figure out why they didn't play, And it's like, I was like, let's change our recruiting strategy. Like let's bring in these guys that are pissed off that they didn't get recruited out of high school or they didn't get recruited out the portal, and they just want to come here and prove that they can play at this level and they can dominate. And so that's been the mentality of the guys that we have here right now. It's like they're just pissed off that no one recruited them.
Yeah,
like they're pissed off that no one believed in them. And so everyone's so competitive. That's the biggest difference. Like the competitiveness level of all of the leaders, especially on the defense. We don't spend as much time with the offense during summer workouts right now, obviously, because it's split up between offense and defense. But defensively, like, we got guys that just aren't willing to lose, and that's the entire battle. Like, talking with Jalen Ramsey this weekend, and talking with all these people from all over the place that have won championships. The number one thing that everybody's talked about is your brotherhood. Do you have each other's back? And how competitive are you? That's the most important thing. Like, you think about Indiana, they had 0, 4, and 5-star recruits. Yep. Like, they just had players that wanted to lead, that were competitive as the heck, and, they played together well. So that's been all that we were focused on, this entire offseason is, like, how can we come together and play for each other? So,
what do you think the identity of this defense is going to be under Coach Marv, and how much do you think he kind of impacts that identity that you guys are going to have defensively?
Oh, yeah. I love Coach Marv. His mentality that he brings on a daily basis, it wears off on us. Yeah. Like, I don't know how much you guys have talked to him, but it's like he's an intense dude.
You feel it.
Yeah, you feel it.
For sure.
Like, he's got real passion and real intensity on a daily basis. I'd be thinking I'm going crazy sometimes. I'd be like, bro, how you got so much energy still? But, and I love him. And we have our saying that we start every team meeting off with, or every defensive meeting off with, is EAT, and it stands for relentless effort, violent, aggressive, and playing fast and smart. And that's going to be our identity as a team. And so it's we got so many different skill sets from each position group, and like we're coming together so well that I'm excited for where we're going to go.
I feel like you have such a unique perspective. You and maybe like Brady Kopetz just kind of being there before the prime era, and now in year 4 going into the prime era. Like, it's pretty crazy to think about at this point. How have you seen the program just kind of maybe elevate? Last year obviously you take a bit of a hit because of the season 3-9, but how have you seen the program kind of elevate over the last 4 years?
Yeah, this is the most, like, Coach Prime's pissed about last year. Like, he's not happy, and this is the most I've ever seen him around. Like, he's in the facilities every day. The first one in there and the last one, like, he damn near might be sleeping in there. I'm not going to lie. Like, he's pissed off about, like, him, he's a competitor. Like, he's not going to put up with that. So, yeah, obviously we had a down year last year. And I'll never blame coaching, ever. Like, that is on the players. And we didn't have the leadership. And it starts with me. Like, I wasn't the leader I needed to be. And, I needed to take big strides with that. And that was one of the things that I worked on, this offseason. And so I had to work on myself, but we weren't on the same page as leaders. We didn't have great leadership amongst each other, and we didn't hold each other to a standard. Like there was no sort of accountability for each other. And so, yeah, like, you know, Coach Prime is putting this is the hardest I've ever seen him working.
Yeah.
And, you know, obviously he wanted to put more time in last year, but because of his health, like, wasn't able to. Yeah. And it broke my heart to see that, because that dude's bought into me more than anyone in my entire life, aside from my family. Yeah. So, like, you know, he's put in so much, and I'm just extremely excited for, you know, where he's going in his coaching career also.
Love that.
Yeah, I love that answer too, man. I asked Juju this, a little rapid fire. It's 6 Buffs to y'all here. Yep. Tell me a little bit something about each of the other 5. Let's start with Juju.
Well, I was going to say first, it's Nate's birthday, so tell
happy birthday! Hey, let's get it.
Yeah, and he's up next, so you guys get to heckle him on here. Juju. So, dude, I'm trying to get Juju to go fishing with me. He's scared to touch fish, bro. I'm like, bro, grow up, will you? Like, jeez.
I'm dead.
But yeah, no, I love Juju, man. He's come a long way. You know, obviously he's still a young bull, and it's gonna take everyone around him, you know, helping him with his confidence. And you know, that's the thing is, like, we got so many good receivers and good backs that, like, it's gonna help him. You know, like, I'm like, bro, you gotta, like, seek comfort in those guys. Yeah. You know, you don't have to do this alone. You know, you got a lot of weight on your shoulders, you know, as the quarterback coming off a year where we struggled, you know, like, you got a lot of pressure on you. And you're a 5-star freshman, like, bro, put that on us. Like, you ain't got to carry that alone. You know, give it to these guys. And so, yeah, he's making big strides, and I'm proud of him for the way he's coming along, but we've got to continue to work. And then, who do you want next?
Birthday boy, Naeten Mitchell.
Nate just came to Durango with me.
All right, sure.
Nate just came to Durango with me over the break, and boy, can he two-step. You should have seen him all night. He was so funny, bro. He was cracking me up. But yeah, Nate, I love Nate, man. He's come fishing with us a couple times, and he's just such a down-to-earth dude, bro. Like, I love Nate with a passion. And I can't say enough good things about him. And he's from, how far are you from here? Like 2.5 hours, 3 hours?
For sure.
Yeah, so you're damn near at home.
What about Danny?
Danny's am I allowed to say the Great White Hope? Like, that's Danny. Or the Great Japanese Hope. Yeah. that's the football of that's the Shohei Ohtani of football, you know. But yeah, Danny, I love Danny too, man. So him, Balansma Kamara, and Cree Thomas and me, we all just bought a fishing boat off Facebook Marketplace.
Okay.
It was $400, bro. It's horrible. It's a piece of crap.
A little fixer-upper.
Yeah, but it gets the job done.
Exactly,
it floats
bro.
and it moves. So we're like, hey, cool, good enough. So yeah, Danny's been super awesome to be. He's made me so much better too. Like, I've been picking his brain on, you know, how he runs certain routes, because you know, it's called the Indy Series. So it's with 3 on the ball, and he can run a seam, he can run a corner out, or he can kind of run like a bend or like a deep post. And it's kind of based off the safeties and how we're rotating down. Yeah. And I asked him one time, because I was like, bro, you know, like, we were in quarters this one time. Like, how come you didn't? Because it's based off of, you know, how we rotate, which way he breaks. It's kind of a read. And I was like, how come you broke that way? And he was like, yeah, but like, I kind of, like, I knew you guys were in quarters, but like, I kind of saw that safety bite down, and I was like, I could take it over the top, and I knew that corner was going to hang low on the, on the drive, and so I was like, he's like, I just kind of run to space, and so, you know, I love talking ball with him. Like, he's just a hooper, and he studies the game, bro. Like, that's what I love about it. Like, he's a true slot receiver. Like, dude just study, like, is on damn near smarter than the quarterbacks, you know, like that's the kind of guy he is. And so he's been super cool to learn from and talk ball with. So, yeah.
Yeah, that IQ is why that boy led the nation in receiving.
No doubt.
Oh, you can tell. Like, he's a real hooper.
Last 2 then, Zach and my boy Cree.
Yeah, Zach was supposed to come to Durango too. Not really happy with bro right now. Pulled out last minute. Yeah,
we're gonna have to talk to him about that.
Went to Aspen instead. But yeah, Zach played D2 ball. And if you want to ask some cool questions about like bro, when he played D2 at his old school, like, after workouts, their whole team had to go work at a grain mill or something. Like,
oh, really?
Their whole team, yeah, and moving. They worked for a moving company too. Like,
wow,
like, it's a different grind. Like, you got to really love this game to do stuff like that. And so he's got a super cool story too. Like you guys got to ask him about stuff like that because the transition is is crazy. But yeah, he's been super helpful in trying to build the brotherhood and get guys to do things outside of football too. So I love Zach, and yeah, I got enough good things to say about him.
Last thing, my twin, Cree.
Yeah, I was gonna say, bro. we were just because he came to Durango too, and we were just talking about that, and he was like, "Yeah, we look the same." I was like, "Yeah, you do." Like, golly, but yeah, dude, that's my best friend. Like for real, like I've never met anyone like him. Like. And he's sorry, yeah. We'll hustle up. Yeah, he just came to Durango too. Two-stepped his butt off too.
A lot of two-stepping going on in Durango,
bro. And that was the first time we all kind of did. We went to the rodeo and we did a whole bunch of stuff, bro. Sun up to sundown. We'd work out in the morning, and then we were just doing stuff all day. Like we were tired by the end of the trip. But yeah, man, that's my dog. Like I love Cree. Like he's my best friend, bro. Like to be completely honest with you,
I love that.
And like. I never thought that I'd meet my best friend at the end of my college career, but like, bro, we spend every waking minute together. Like we train 24/7 together. Like we're always picking each other's brains with ball, trying to make each other better. And he's always bugging me about fishing though. I'm like, bro, like we got to take some other guys. Bro. He's like, can we just go ourselves? I'm like, bro, no, we need to.
You turned him into a monster.
I did. It's bad. But yeah, man, he had fun in Durango. He got into wakeboarding, and now he can't stop wakeboarding, and got into cliff jumping, and now just wants to do backflips and stuff. I'm like, bro, you need to chillax before you die. Like, we need you.
He's got a long football career.
Yeah, like, bro, we need you outside. Like, you need to chill out a little bit. But yeah, so. I love that. I don't have enough good things to say about him. Like I truly love him to life, and yeah. So
hey, we don't got enough good things to say about you, brother. We appreciate you, bro. It's always a blast.
I appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir.
On.
Welcome anytime, bro.
Appreciate you guys.
See you soon, bro.
All right, back on the show. I mean, we got to take a break real quick here, but Ben Finneseth, bro, what can you say?
Did it again. He did it again.
That dude is one of the funniest people I think I've ever met. Honestly,
he is, bro. The consummate leader that this team, I believe, needs. And how can you not love that guy, bro? I think somebody said in the chat, everybody need a friend like Ben Finneseth, bro. The way he has taken in some of these guys, these new guys particularly, under leadership, bro, is awesome. But we'll talk more about that here on the other side of this break.
Shout out to our friends over at New Built Restoration and Construction. Scotty, when you're out here at Big 12 Media Day, you get a great lay of the land, right? You can get a nice feel for where teams are in their rebuilds, right? Whether they are at the top of their game or maybe it might be time to pull out the studs and just rip it all down and start over again. Well, whatever's going on with them, or maybe your home or business, no job is too big or small for our friends over at New Built Restoration and Construction. They are licensed general contractors who can help with any project. They are available 24/7, so even if you have an emergency middle of the night, you are convinced that no one is going to be around to help you, give them a call and hit them up. They are also massive DNVR fans, so you know they are our people over there at New Built Construction. Some of the services offered include fire damage, water damage, mold removal, repair services, and commercial projects. When that home emergency hits, New Built Restoration and Construction will be there at nubilt.com or 720-902-7472. Tell them DNVR sent you, and you'll get $1,000 off your next remodeling project. Shout out New Built Restoration and Construction.
And shout out to the squad, our good friends over at STK Steakhouse, man. Go check them out, man, particularly during happy hour, man. $3, $6, $9 happy hour, man, Sunday through Thursday, 2:30 to 6:30, and a nice little late night happy hour, 9 p.m. to close. A little date night idea, potentially Friday and Saturday as well, 2:30 to 5:30. So many happy hour opportunities for you with our friends over at SDK, man. They're open late night, as I said, after game days as well. Maybe you're after a Broncos game in the fall or something like that. Steak night, they got 3-course meal, Jakey, plus a glass of wine, $69 a person.
Let's go.
That is an elite deal. Great value as well, man. Rotating menu items every season. They're open on every holiday. And all the Denver locations, they come with a vibe built in, bro, because there's a DJ at every Denver location, man. So make a reservation or learn more at stksteakhouse.com.
All right, back here, Frisco, Texas, Big 12 Media Day. Ben Finneseth, I mean, isn't as insightful as he is funny, I think.
It's hard to strike that balance, but he does it perfectly.
Yeah. I mean, quite a bit to talk about there, but a pissed-off Coach Prime coming into the 2026 season. Last year was it was tough in multiple ways. We were talking about this last night, just, getting into town here, and how, man, everything that could have went wrong really went wrong last year. And I don't know if I've ever seen a football season really like that. Certainly up close, I've never seen anything like we saw last year, but the team couldn't catch a break at all.
Right.
And not only do I think they're due, but I think that the mentality that has been instilled in Coach Prime, from the top down in this program, that's really, I think, the big takeaway, again, is that feeling is permeating through this team, through the locker room. And I think it's just going to lead to some teams getting into fistfights that maybe they did not expect this time, even last year, looking at the team as a pushover. So
no doubt about it, man. I mean, Ben had so much good tidbits right there, so much game. But you mentioned it, though, and I kind of talked about it a little bit at the top, like Coach Prime's health, that being in such a much better spot today as opposed to a year ago is massive. Ben goes, Coach Prime is in the facility every day. First one in, last one out. He said this is the hardest he's ever seen Coach Prime working. Mm-hmm. And obviously that part of it was missing last year in terms of the offseason with his health struggles, which we all understand and know by now. But him being back and locked in and invigorated and pissed off about the results last year, I think that is giving everybody in that locker room something to look at and something where they gotta internalize that. Like this, how our head man feeling. We gotta go out there on the field and play like how he feels.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I love that. And then just, my Durango demon, man, Ben, taking these young bulls under his wing, man, exposing them to life. And that's kind of what I said to him earlier. We were talking like that's what a big part of what college is supposed to be about, man.
Dude. Yes.
Meeting new people, experiencing new things, like doing new activities like fishing, like whatever. And I also love how, Ben said that Kreese is his best friend on the team. That is so dope to me.
I agree. Not
only because Kreese is my twin, and now I kind of feel like Ben is also my best friend now by default, but also because, like,
stepbrothers.
No, for real. Like, Kreese is a redshirt freshman.
I know.
Ben is a super senior, a super senior almost, one of the oldest on the team, and that's 4 or 5 years apart, but they best friends. And I think that is awesome. That speaks to Ben's leadership. That speaks to Kreese, his personality as well, and it's one of the many reasons why I'm really excited about this secondary, man. Ben said earlier this spring that this is the best safety room that he's ever been a part of. He's best friends with, a top corner on this team in Kreese Thomas, and, you add Boo into that, and we'll hear from Nate here in a little bit, but this secondary checks a lot of the boxes that you're looking for in terms of the leadership, the physicality, the prior production, all of that. Like, I'm really excited about the secondary, and whether Ben plays a ton of snaps or not, he is going to be just as important to this team as just about anybody. And Coach Prime kind of alluded to that in our smaller setting, right? He was like, that's not somebody, maybe you might not pencil him in as your starter as we do depth charts and whatnot, but his impact on this team is felt every single day by everybody in that locker room.
He is completely invaluable to this football team. And as you said, it doesn't matter how many snaps he plays at that point. Yeah. And that's not the point either, because Ben will play some snaps. He's going to play. He's going to play defense. He's going to play a lot on special teams too, right? But it's easy to see why, him and Kreese Thomas become best friends after only being on campus together for, 8 months, whatever it's been since Kreese got there, right? Like, Ben is just his personality is infectious. He brings people together. He brings out the best in people too, right? Like when you're able to kind of, I think what he does that is so, a nice thing that he does to, us, even the interviewer, right, is like you talk to him, he just lightens the mood a little bit, right? It makes it super easy to talk to him, easy to talk about the small things to the big things, right? Because of how, lighthearted and how he takes everything. So he's completely invaluable to this team. He's one of the best human beings, I think, on this football team of the Coach Prime era. And it's great to see him healthy too, right? Missed the entire spring with the So I believe it was a meniscus or something. So the fact that he's back and healthy is going to be awesome as well. Also love hearing him talk about Julian, right? Like, so much with the young guys, it is truly about confidence, about, you know, all the mental stuff upstairs, and I think he understands that. You know, he was very upfront with us a couple years ago when he was on the show talking about how he felt when he was a younger player he wasn't a good teammate, right? And, you know, to go back to what you said about that's what college is about. College is also about kind of like paying it forward, right, and passing down those learned lessons that you were blessed to have when you were a freshman, sophomore, even a junior in some cases, in Ben's case in particular, right? So shout out to Ben Finneseth, completely invaluable. Has to be one of the best interviews here overall at Big 12 Media Day, regardless of team. So
100%. YC.
Let's also great friends with Naeten Mitchell, who we'll hear from here very, very soon. But first, let's hit a quick shout out from our friends over at Taco Bell for Taco Tuesday.
Look at this vote. Look what we got here. Oh, open it up. It's not nachos. It's not fries.
It's nacho fries.
Look at this thing. Cheese, sour cream. I don't even know what this is. Some sauce. Let's try it out.
Yeah, that'll play.
Dude, it'll play. You got like a little seasoning on the fry too.
It's what you think it is. It's delicious.
2 thumbs up.
Shout out to Adam and Vote for bringing us Taco Tuesday. It looked delicious. Low-key
really
jealous
did.
at this point in time.
For real. Especially since we might have missed lunch, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, not good.
But that's what happens when you grinding.
Exactly.
When you head to the grindstone, when you locked in, when you locked all the way in, what's food? You feel me? What's
exactly. You know, we'll recap the day after. We'll get to that. There's a lot to get to still, and a pretty awesome interview here with your new athletic director for the University of Colorado, Fernando Lovo. Tons of stuff that we got into. So without further ado, here he is, your new AD, Fernando Lovo. Joining us on the show, we got the athletic director of the University of Colorado, Fernando Lovo, joining the show. Man, Big 12 Media Days, kind of, I don't know, what, 6-7 months you've been on the job now? Just how does it feel here to be here now, kind of seeing your new school and everyone representing it out here?
Yeah, it's awesome. I appreciate you having me on. I've been, like I told you before we came on, I appreciate all the coverage you guys provide us and do a heck of a job, and we're all very appreciative of that. But no, it's really special. I mean, it's been a great 6 months for me. I think 6 months and 2 days or something. Who's counting? And hit the ground running. And you know, this is always a really exciting time of year. I mean, obviously, you know, we had a really good spring with our lacrosse program and women's basketball and others. Obviously, ski had a good showing. But you know, the fall's here, and we all know football is right around the corner, and this is kind of obviously the kickoff to that. So. Good vibes. Feels really good to be here. You know, Commissioner Yormark and the Big 12, they do a great job hosting this, and I'm excited. You know, I'm ready to go. I think we're 57, 58 days to kick off. I mean, it's right around the corner. So excited to get this thing going.
Yes, sir.
Definitely. We appreciate you joining us here, Fernando. Obviously, as we sit here at Big 12 Football and Media Days, it feels like a big football season for this program.
Yep.
You know, what do you feel like the important tenets of a football program in today's landscape in particular with NIL and kind of the rapidly changing environment of it all? What are kind of the core tenets of what it's going to take to get this program to where everybody wants to see it?
Yeah, you know, I think in this world that we live in now, you know, there's two things that are distinct, right? One that has always kind of been the central tenet, right? You've got to be really good evaluators. You know, you got to make sure that you know what schemes you want to run, what type of profiles that you're looking for to fit those schemes, and make sure you recruit to that. You know, obviously, Coach Prime's one of the best to ever do it. He knows what it looks like at the highest level, and so we got to be really good evaluators. But now there's an element of valuation tied to evaluation, and so everybody knows that we're in a world now where, you know, NIL, rev share, all of those things you hear matter in order to building a successful program. Because, you know, to me, obviously, culture, scheme, all of those things still matter. But the recruitment and the retention of really good players, I think, is what takes us from good to great and great to elite. And, you know, a lot of that falls on my shoulders as the athletic director. I got to make sure that we're providing, Coach Prime and all of our coaches with the resources that they need to be successful now, and that's different than it was 5 years ago. So, we got to be really good at evaluators, and we got to make sure we're placing the right valuations on the right players, and I think we've done a really good job with that, and I'm excited to see what it looks like this fall.
Likewise.
Kind of going along with that, too, because I feel like, you come into a season, you might have like a number set. Like, we need to get to this number to get the roster we want, the coaching staff we want, and all that. But, another season goes by, and then it's just that number keeps going up. Like, just in the context of, like, this era we're in and everything, like, does this feel like something that maybe not even related to Colorado, but just, like, are we on a sustainable pace with the direction that, college sports, college athletics are heading right now with the constant always need to grow and that exponential kind of curve up when it comes to that stuff, NIL and all?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, and you said it. I mean, the cost of business continues to go up. That's just the reality. We're hopeful that we can see some sort of progress towards maybe having guardrails around some of that, so that we can ensure the sustainability, of not just our football programs, but really our entire athletic department. Because you're right, it's not unique to Colorado. Most schools are in a similar situation, but. What I can tell you is this: in order for us to be a successful athletic department, we need to have a successful football program. And so, my background is in football. I spent many years coming up through it, and I've seen the impact that a successful football program can have on a department, on a city, on a state. And so here at CU, we're gonna do everything in our power to make sure that we do things the right way. We're making decisions in a deliberate manner, but we need to provide football with the resources that they need to be successful, because it's critically important to our success as an athletic department. And so I'm encouraged with where we are. My job, my challenge for myself and my staff is to make sure that we're continuing to keep us in the conversation with where we need to be, and who knows what it'll look like a year from now. Right. But as we all know, the great ones adapt. The old adage, adapt or die. Like, we're going to continue to adapt, and we're going to push, and we're going to try to stay on the cutting edge of that, because we need that. We need a successful football program for our department.
Yep. Obviously, year one here of your tenure here at the University of Colorado, a lot of stuff on your plate. But as you kind of maybe look at big picture-wise, what do you kind of want your tenure to maybe be known for or remembered by, if that makes sense?
Well, for me, the reason I got in this business is to develop and prepare young men and women for life. We have a small percentage of our student athletes that go and play professionally, and we celebrate the heck out of that. But for those that don't, we want them to leave prepared here and go on and have a great life. And so that's always been my North Star, regardless of what world we're living in with NIL and transfer portal and all that stuff. That motivates me. Obviously, I want to win. I'm a competitor. All of our coaches, we get in this business because we're competitors, and
that's what you've done.
100%.
Winning in your past.
And I've been really fortunate to be around great coaches, great administrators that everywhere I've been, I've taken a little bit here and there from it, because there's no secret sauce, right? It's all about people, making sure that you've got the right people in the right places, and then the success will follow. And so, when I hopefully many, many years from now look back, I hope people are really proud of the success that we were able to achieve across the board. I hope that our state, our community really buy into what we're trying to do, because as the flagship of this state, I think we have an obligation to do just that for our state and our community. So I want to leave an impact. I want to leave it better than I found it. And candidly, Rick George did a really good job. And so I want to make sure we continue that trajectory. And I'm excited about the way things have started.
Mentioning Rick, a year ago we were sitting here and we had him on the show. Obviously, a lot's happened since then. His announcement, the search for you get hired. You've been here 6 months now. Just what's it been like, kind of that transition, working with Rick, but also, kind of getting the baton passed to you in a sense? Yeah,
I have so much respect for Rick. He someone that I admired as I was coming up in this industry, just for the things that he did, during his time here and all of that. And so for me to be able to come to a place like Colorado and have someone like Rick, be around and kind of help me with this transition and help me understand certain nuances to the place that he knows so well, both from his time here as an athletic director and, he was here with Coach Mack during the glory years. And so he knows what makes this place tick, and I've been able to, lean on him and trying to be respectful of his time. Obviously, he's earned some time away, and But it's really special. I'm really fortunate to have him around. Obviously, him and Coach Prime have a really good relationship, and that's helped me early on. I think with my development of relationship with Coach, and so really thankful for Rick. I'm glad that he's sticking around in a capacity where he can still provide some input and guidance, and to have the baton passed to me is just an honor of a lifetime. And I can tell you this, I wake up every day just trying to make sure that I make the Buff Nation proud and happy, and I'll do anything in my power to do just that.
Love it.
A week or two ago when we were at the announcement for, Derek White's new position with the basketball program and whatnot, I thought it was really cool, kind of the anecdote that I believe you told, just about when one of the first things you want to do when you got on the job was meet some of these, program greats, like Derek White, pick their brain and, kind of build a relationship.
Yep.
Why do you think that is so important to do that with, not just basketball, with football as well, like some of the program, kind of figureheads and, make sure that they feel involved, get their input and that type of stuff? Yeah,
and when you come to a place like Colorado, the one thing that is obvious is the tradition, the history, those that came before us and have done so much to put us in the position that we're in now. And so respecting and honoring that tradition by ensuring that those, and it's not, Derek obviously is who he is, and he's such an amazing person and a great competitor and champion and all those things. And so obviously the name recognition there is important. But beyond that, we've had so many, we stand on the shoulders of those that came before us. And I remember from my time at Texas and Ohio State and Florida, how important it was to have the former greats come back and be invested and be part of the journey, and the journey is not always linear. Right. You have ups and downs, and that's okay, right? That's part of growth. That's part of becoming better. But having that family, that fraternity, that sorority of former student athletes that played, really invested, bought in. They don't always have to necessarily agree with everything that's going on, but for the greater good and really being open and honest about, wanting the Buffs to be great, I think so important to our success now and in the future.
Definitely.
This time last year, Ralphie was a big topic of conversation. She had a great season, Ralphie 6, but a lot of fans, I'm sure, are wondering, west side of Folsom, obviously CU Event Center, those are things Rick talked about. Just what's kind of next on your agenda in terms of, CU, Folsom Field, and all that?
Yeah. The west side, obviously, to me, those are the best seats in the house. That I was up there one of my first weeks on the job, and just obviously on the east side, you're looking at the Flatirons. That's hard to beat. But in terms of proximity to the field and all that, it's really spectacular. So we've Rick did a really nice job of kind of starting the conversation there and some designs. I've passed the baton to me, and I've explored that more. It's certainly something that we know needs to be done. There's a lot of revenue opportunity on that side, not just for football games, but beyond that, right? Making that an area of the stadium where we can activate that's kind of a good connection to main campus there. So we're talking about it. We're trying to refine some design things, and so that's certainly still something that's there. You talked about the event center. I think there's a lot of opportunity there. That the building's an older building. We lack for premium offerings, which is something that we have a demand for. And so we're exploring that. We're going to leave no stone unturned. Obviously, the name of the game now is to generate revenue. And how do you do that? Is you have really, obviously, put a good product on the field, in the court, whatever it may be, but really have a setup there with infrastructure that makes people want to come, enjoy and come, spend some time with the Buffs. And look, I know this, we live in an incredible sports town. Denver, I was just at a Rockies game this weekend, and, the stadium was packed, and I was just, you can see and feel, and, the passion for sports. And so we've got to make sure that our games, our events are one that folks in Denver, and, we want to really make an impact in Denver. We want those folks that, are deciding, do I want to come to a Buffs football game? Absolutely. Get in the car, and we're going to make it fun and exciting. And then part of that is making sure we've got the right infrastructure to make it a good event so they can enjoy it. So it's definitely a priority.
Last question for me, Fernando. You mentioned Coach Prime and kind of just building a relationship with him, and that type of stuff doesn't happen overnight, right? That happens, over time throughout a process and whatnot. But just the early stages of it, what has it been like working with him, interacting with him? Because obviously he's important to everything that university has going on right now.
I've loved it. I think we've really hit the ground running. We've spent some good time together. I went out to a number of practices, and we've had a lot of interactions. And the one thing, I just love his competitive spirit. Everything that he does is about winning. But he does it the right way. he cares so deeply about the young men that are in the locker room, and then his staff as well. I mean, they just had a leadership retreat for both the coaches and the players, and I was talking with some of the guys that are here and just how impactful that was. To me, that signals who he is. He wants to win. He's every step in his life he's been a winner. So that's his DNA. But the type of person he is really has been just so fantastic to be around and see, and how he pours into it. And I because my background is in football, I think I understand some of the things that make a program tick and what coaches need. And again, it's my job to provide the coaches with the resources they need to go win championships. All of our coaches want to win championships. Obviously, Coach Prime does as well. And so making sure that I understand what his needs are, how do I meet those needs, and building that trust early on, because that's the foundation of every relationship. And I think we've gotten off to a really good start.
Colorado not getting a lot of respect out here. Do you have a message for the Big 12 in your first year as AD out here?
Yeah, I'm not going to make any significant statements here. I'm still the new guy. Man. But here's what I'll tell you. It's not bad to have a chip on your shoulder.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, play that way. You know, and approach life that way. I think that's always a good way to go about it. It's okay. If people don't want to give you respect, go earn that respect. And I've heard Coach Prime talk about that, and so I love it. I love approaching my job, our jobs with a chip on our shoulder. Nothing's given, everything's earned. You got to go earn it. And so it's gonna be really cool. We get to go in a foxhole together and get on a plane and go fly to Atlanta. And when the foot hits the ball, let's let it rock.
Yes,
let's go. Let's prepare. Like I know we can and we will prepare. And we got a ton of talent. We got really good coaching. And so, let's play it out on the field and let's go earn that respect. And I'm excited to see where that goes, because I know we got great coaches, we got great student athletes. So let's get this thing going.
Fernando Lovo, Athletic Director,
Appreciate
University
you
of Colorado.
guys. Thanks so
Thanks,
much.
man.
Yep. Appreciate it. Go Buffs.
Yes,
Appreciate
sir.
it. Thanks.
Shout out to Fernando Lovo for joining the show. First time on the DNVR Buffs podcast for him. We'll have him back very shortly. Quickly, Scotty, before we get to Naeten Mitchell, would it be a DNVR show if I tease something and then just didn't go to it? We'll get to Naeten Mitchell here shortly, but quick takeaway from Coach Fernando Lovo.
I was really impressed. That was obviously our first kind of sit down with the new athletic director, and you can just tell why he is, in my opinion, and a lot of other people's opinion, kind of a rising star in this field. He has had success just about everywhere he's gone. And I kind of look at it almost like in the same or a similar lens as Brendan Marion, where people are like, well, why does he have so many one-year stints on his on his resume? Well, it's because he does what he has to do that 1 year, and he get promoted. And I feel like, while not a one-for-one comparison for Lovo, I think it's similar. Like, he's been at a lot of places because he's done a lot of good at a lot of places. And, when a school like Colorado, at a very important part of this school's history, the athletic department's history, I think Fernando Lovo, is the perfect guy to kind of bring this thing forward into the new era.
That's exactly where I'm at. Just like Brendan Marion. I mean, it's exactly what you needed from that position right now, right? Rick George, he did some great things here at the University of Colorado. Of course, bringing in Coach Prime, kind of his, latest cap to go on top as he, exits out. But there's a lot at stake here for Fernando Lovo, right? Like, I think you're kind of in a little on the brink situation in terms of either way, right? Like, this thing could go way up in terms of, see you climb in the ranks, or, you kind of stay where you are in that type of way. So he was awesome. Again, we'll hear from him very shortly. Hopefully get him live in studio. It seems like we could have something like that set up very, very soon. All right.
The people want to hear from the birthday boy, man.
They do. Let's bring him in without further ado. Here is Naeten Mitchell. Naeten Mitchell, man, last time we talked to you, I think it was just like a week after you committed, maybe a few days.
Yeah.
Now you're kind of here representing the team at Media Day.
Yes,
How does
sir.
that feel, just the journey that the last 7-8 months have been for you?
Man, it's been a blessing. I thank Coach Prime. I thank the coaching staff. I thank my teammates. I'm just very grateful to be here, and I know this is a big opportunity for me, so I'm just taking advantage of every moment and just looking it all in for sure.
Let's go.
First things first, happy birthday, my boy.
Of course.
Everybody in the
Happy
chat,
birthday,
man,
dog.
spam happy birthday to my boy
Let
Nate.
him know.
Let him
Yes,
know.
sir.
We were just
Thank
talking to Ben, bro. He said that you spent a little bit of time in Durango and his
Yeah,
neck of the
man.
woods in Colorado.
Yeah, for
what,
sure.
What was that like, and just the experience this offseason of just bonding with your new teammates and whatnot?
Man, it's been great. That's a big part of, coming in out of the transfer portal and getting into a new team. You gotta buy in and you gotta build relationships with players. So I think just, I wanted to go out there just to, build relationships with Ben and Cree and everybody else that came out there. It was a good experience. I did a lot of things that I've never done in my life, but no, it was fun. It was a great trip.
I love that.
Let's go. I mean, obviously, you just got here through the portal this offseason, but how have you seen the team kind of come together? What has been the biggest change or something that you've noticed over the last, I guess 4 or 5 months since spring football?
Yeah, when you first walk in, everybody's new. We brought in a lot of new players that, from different places of the world and, don't really know each other too well. But I think just over the past, through January to now, we've been working a lot on, building a brotherhood and, connecting with each other outside of football.
Love it.
Ben was talking about how the recruiting kind of strategy changed a little bit this offseason where the staff was going after maybe guys who were under-recruited, underlooked coming out of high school.
Yeah.
Dudes who were pissed off,
Hell
what I'm
yeah.
saying, that they
Yeah.
weren't recruited a certain way. I feel like that kind of fits your build a little bit and whatnot. How much does that fit, and how much does that kind of permeate throughout the entire locker room and the group of guys that you're, lining up with?
Yeah, you could tell a lot of these guys have a chip on their shoulder. It's different when you've been through something and, a lot of people have told you no or, they care about your size or things of that nature. There's a lot of guys out there that have a big chip on their shoulder. I think we brought a lot of guys in that do have that chip on their shoulder and they're working really hard, to play as hard as they can in this season. And, I'm just excited because, there's a lot of guys that, are under the reps and they're going to it's going to be a big year for them for sure.
Kind of along with that, though, when you look at, the numbers of snaps played, the production coming in from mostly you guys, the transfer class, right?
Yeah.
It's up there among the top in the country. But then, when people talk about Colorado in the context of this season, it's not very optimistic, right? I mean, they're picking y'all for the bottom of the league. No one voted to the All Big 12 team that came out yesterday. How does that make you feel as guys who have kind of been there, done it, already got it out the mud, and now you're still being, kind of looked down upon?
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's up to the media. We're at the end of the day, we're the ones on the field playing every snap and playing 4 quarters. And we know what we believe in. We know the culture that we're trying to build. We want to build a winning culture again. Like Colorado is. You know what I mean? And everybody's buying into that. And we'll see this season. We'll see what people have to say after the end of the season. You know what I mean? So I'm just excited to go out there and work.
You mentioned that there are a few guys on the team who are maybe flying under the radar, under wraps a little bit right now. Like who's a player or two who you think is in for a big year that people might not be checking for right now or expecting that from?
I'd probably say Ernest Campbell. Ernest Campbell.
Right.
Ernest Campbell is a flyer.
Yeah.
I've seen his speed, but
Real track speed.
once you see him run a post or go, you'll see what I'm talking about. I think that's one of the biggest ones. And obviously Gideon Lamprey. He came from a smaller school, but a lot of people know about him. But he's been causing some damage for sure. So I'm ready to see him in front of me working.
Yes, sir.
What's been, have you seen Juju kind of develop over the last few months since spring football and, kind of getting his feet under him with the season just up ahead?
Yeah, this is his second year, and, I think he's trying to step up as a leader and, communicate with all of us and, try to lead us from the front. So I think just, him, stepping into the film room and, talking to us and, buying into the culture, that's all I can ask for, and I think he's been doing a great job for us for sure.
Nate, we appreciate the time, my boy. Happy birthday again, broski.
Yes,
Let's
sir.
go.
Happy birthday.
Great to see you again.
We'll talk soon, brother.
Yes, sir.
Definitely.
Shout out to Naeten Mitchell. Shout out to Ben Finneseth, Julian Lewis, and Fernando Lovo as well.
Yeah.
What an awesome day out here, and we are not quite done yet.
It ain't over. We got plenty more coming to y'all tomorrow. Tomorrow will be another packed show. Some special guests as well. Stay tuned, man. We'll talk a lot more about what went down today.
Yep.
And we'll unveil a lot more tomorrow as well.
Totally. Usually these shows go a little bit longer, but the work ain't done today.
Yeah, we
still got some stuff to do.
But before we go, do me a favor, man. Right now, if you're watching this, you looking at my face right now, smack that like button. Drop a comment, your favorite interview, your favorite moment of the show today. I want to hear it. Let me know something.
A lot of good stuff coming to y'all. Stay tuned to the YouTube channel. Go check out the Coach Prime presser in the feed below. We'll be back tomorrow, live from Denver. Again, quick turnaround for us, so lots of stuff coming your way over the next couple days. Make sure you stay tuned, and we'll see y'all then. Let's go Buffs.